Welcome back to another edition of the Dirty Water Boys Diving Deep. Today's episode is brought to you by Trinity Solar for all your solar needs. This is a zero down, zero cost install to go solar. Comes with a 25-year warranty on the solar panels and the roof that's on. If that's something you're into, hit my man Josh in the clouds at 908-235-9526. So today we have Billy Loftus. Am I saying that right?
Correct.
Now, I feel like you're very underrated because I did a little research on you. And I looked at your social media platform, and let's just say you didn't have the big following, which I thought you would have with the war stories that come attached to who you are as an MMA fighter. And then I dig a little more deeper, and the reason you don't is because you're still fighting, you're still training, you're always in the gym. So it kind of makes sense why your phone isn't in your hand when you're beating the shit out of someone. I appreciate that. So tell us about yourself. You're here today, you're hanging out with us. What do you got for us?
Well, I mean, it started like in the early 90s, basically before the first UFC.
Okay.
So my training, I mean, I started when I was a kid. I started judo when I was a kid. I wrestled, went to karate, and then the first UFC happened, and then it was like an explosion, you know. But for me, it was a little different because I was younger. I mean, I had a young family, you know, so it was hard to train as much as I wanted to. But I was competing in karate tournaments. I was training jiu-jitsu. I was getting the shit kicked out of me by this guy here.
You're also a wrestling coach at the time?
I was coaching wrestling.
A lot going on.
A lot going on.
So in between ass kickings, you're doing a lot of other stuff.
Yes.
What, and in your career, you said it was like 30, 35 years
34
so far?
years
Still
of
going
martial
strong.
arts.
What is your biggest achievement? Like what is the one that stands out saying, I did this?
Winning the worlds.
Well, I'm sorry, what now?
The jiu-jitsu worlds.
So like the entire world?
Yes.
Not like Northeast regional,
Yeah,
not
no,
like
it's
East Coast.
it's
Look at the world.
Yes, it's the worlds. I mean, this just happened a year ago.
Oh, this is a recent win.
This is recent.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've won the Pans. Took third in the world, and then I won the worlds last year. So
I find that to be crazy only because a lot of these mixed martial arts, they originate in other countries, I'd imagine. They don't all start in America, right?
Right.
So you have ones that come from Brazil, some training comes from China or Japan, and then here's a guy from New Jersey who takes the world. That's just crazy. That's a slap in the face to Brazilians, by the way. Like, ha, guess what?
Well, the Brazilians, like, we work a lot with,
I know, but
okay.
A guy from Jersey won it. That's crazy. It's awesome.
Well, so tell them what you're doing next.
Well,
what your plan is for the next upcoming
Well,
jiu-jitsu season.
I'm going to do the Europeans. I'll fight in the Europeans in Rome in October.
That should be nothing. You already won the world. What's your
So that's the Europeans. So the goal is for me is my goal is to win the Grand Slam. So it's Pans, Worlds, Europeans, and Brazilian Nationals. So and then I'm going to retire.
And how many do we have under our belt as of now?
2.
You got 3 more to go.
2 more to go.
2 more. It's 4 in total.
4 in total.
Now, do you get like really cool belts?
No, you just get like
cheesy
big
little
gold medals.
That's it.
Gold
Like, is it
medals.
solid
Yeah.
gold or is it like
Nah, it's
plated?
Fugazi gold. Fugazi gold. Yeah, it's
That's now. Have you competed in these kind of events?
No, not at that level. So back when I was competing and when I didn't know that anybody else really did this. I knew the UFC was there, but it was like, you had to go rent videotapes or find somebody with a videotape.
The back of the video store kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was literally back by the porn section.
Nah, I didn't say where it was
Yeah,
located.
it was like, they would do like the curtain, and then the UFC tapes were like right before you go in the curtain.
Got
like,
it. Pornography, sweaty men, all in the same area. It makes sense.
That makes sense.
That
That's
does
true.
make sense.
But you either had to find a buddy who had a tape, or you had to go rent a tape. So
What is this, a snuff film?
yeah, the UFC.
Who's got the
it
goods?
was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough to get information. So there was a style of fighting called shoot fighting, which has 2 different terms. Like when professional wrestlers use the term shoot fight, that meant that it's staged.
Okay.
So it was like fake, and they already knew who was going to win, and they knew what moves they were going to do. And then we couldn't get MMA in New Jersey or a lot of places. New York, there was a lot of places you couldn't do MMA. So we started calling it shoot fighting. And the only difference in the rule set was you had to hit open hand, like big bear slaps. So
Oh,
we
wow.
were doing that out of an organization, BAMA, Bay Academy of Mixed Martial Arts, I think is the name, right?
Bama martial art, Bayside.
It was
Academy
Bama.
of Martial Arts or something like that.
And it was
So
it was out of
you would
Elizabeth.
go and you'd fight under the title shoot fighting.
Yeah,
So to the common consumer, if they heard the word shoot fighting, it was stage fighting, like wrestling.
yeah. Well, that's how they
You're a
sold
bunch
it.
of bootleggers.
Well, that's
Yeah.
how they sold it to the government officials that had a sanction or give you
Well,
a
there
gym.
was unsanctioned. No,
or
in the
unsanctioned.
beginning it was unsanctioned.
Yeah.
It was
You guys were
illegal.
doing
It was
bare
illegal.
knuckle boxing in like locker rooms.
It was illegal
Yeah.
in New Jersey, New York, most countries.
Yeah,
I mean, most states.
Yeah,
So where did you guys? So you guys would have to go fight under the title shoot fighting.
We would
New
set up.
Jersey.
We would set up rings in high school gyms,
Okay.
and all these martial arts schools would come, and then we would just fight. And no athletic commission, so you never got tested.
There's
There was
no
no,
rules.
there was no
Steroids
rules
were
set.
running rampant.
No, whatever. It was just whatever.
the ref in the ring was basically the rules. So if he
The
didn't
ref
like
was
it,
high on
Yeah,
cocaine.
yeah.
It was craziness.
Yeah, nobody got disqualified ever.
yeah. If
Like,
you
there
didn't
was
like it,
nothing
it was,
like that.
then he'd pull you apart and reset.
They'd pull guys out and say, "Hey, we need a
Oh my
who's-
god! I've
who's
seen
about
movies.
100
There's based on this exact story.
about 150 pounds. We need a guy. I'll fight." Oh, guys
You're
would go up
drawing
there. And,
straws and volunteering.
Guy would
to
just
fight.
go out there and fight.
We would go like if our friend was fighting, we'd go with our own bag, our gym bag, full of our gear, in case they needed,
A wrestler,
they needed
someone to
somebody.
fight. That's fucking crazy.
Literally
was
go with
crazy.
your gear bag.
It was crazy.
As a member of the newer, softer generation, by the way, I'm not a bitch, but I am part of the generation. I couldn't imagine the kids now getting ready to go bare knuckle box in a gym, no holds bars, no rules. The ref was the guy who said he's probably fucked up.
The level now is way
Yeah,
better
it's-
than it was.
it's-
The
it's more
level
controlled.
now,
Well,
but
just
the
the
level of the
skill.
guy, the skill
skill.
set is way better, man. It's way better because now everybody's. So now the mixed martial arts terms came from, somebody who did karate, judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. Now these guys are like specialized in all of these things, and they start at such a young
with a
age.
touch of all of it.
Yes.
Yeah, they specialize in
And
something,
they're
but they got a touch of it
so
all.
good, man. They're so good.
So from when you started till now, it's like night and day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like
crazy.
comparing a hot air balloon
Now
to a jet fighter.
it sounds like it's more organized,
Oh.
but it's harder.
It's way,
Way
harder.
harder.
It's
More
way-
technical skills.
Yes.
More
Yeah.
training involved.
The guys are ridiculous. You
How,
look
how
at them
old were
like-
you when you started? Like I knew you started at a young age doing different kinds of.
I
mixed
started
martial
well
arts.
basically when the first UFC, because that's really when I got involved in jiu-jitsu, was I was 28. So it's 20. I'm 56. So it's 28 years ago. That's when I started.
So 28.
Yeah, that's when the first UFC started. 20.
But
years ago,
nowadays, people start much younger.
basically. Yeah.
And you're in 28 years, starting at 28, and you still won the worlds.
In my school, I have 3-year-olds that are starting training right now in jiu-jitsu.
I should bring Teresa over there.
Yeah,
I watched the video. I was telling these guys earlier. I watched the video, and I said, if you want to make a champion in any sport, no matter what it is, you get someone with autism and steroids. You'll never find somebody more
No,
focused.
It's probably true.
and
man.
then
Probably
juice
true.
them.
Yeah.
And
that's
there's
right.
like a freight train.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
literally,
right.
I'm watching as an autistic parent. By the way, I'm not making fun of anyone with
Yeah,
special needs, but I'm looking at my daughter, and she's just like, she'll jump in a 50-degree water pool and sit there for 12 hours and play like it's nothing, and we'll be like, what the hell? Then I'm like, imagine juicing her. She'd be a freight train. She feels no pain, and she's focused on what she's doing. Can you imagine that kind of mentality in the ring?
Oh, we have some.
Yeah, we have some.
Yeah,
We've
we
had
have
them.
Yeah,
We've had
we
them.
have-
We've
we
had
have-
every.
All walks of life.
Yes, everyone you could possibly think of.
So now, as being 28 years of fighting, I can imagine you have to have somebody in your mind where you underestimated them, or where you were like, this is a Tuesday, and they gave you a run for your money.
Oh, all the time. all the
Actually,
time.
every day.
All the time. Even now.
But which one stands out the most? If you had to put a name on it, who would you be like, I didn't expect that?
Oh, Jesus.
Gotta be
It's-
somebody. Was it that 3-year-old in class this
No,
week?
there was there was a guy actually when I first started, and this is early, and I started maybe 6 months before this guy, and he came for his first class, and I beat the shit out of him pretty much, and then 6 months later he came back, threw me around like Bam Bam. I was like,
Hit you
poof,
with
poof,
the earth.
poof, poof, poof. I
As
was
a
like,
sea monster likes to say.
I was like, what the hell just happened? Where did this guy go? And he was training 7 days a week, like 10 hours a day. And he came back and murdered me. And to this day, I'll always remember that. Why? Because it
Now,
was so
reverse
early.
it. Now, who have you given so much like, wow, this is going to be a tough one, and then it wasn't? It was a cakewalk.
Oh,
Tell me it was Worlds.
No, Worlds were tough. Worlds were actually pretty tough. Although I competed in absolute division a few times, and that was all weight classes, and I was always the lightest weight class.
Okay.
Always the lightest. I was always lightweight.
Lightest guy.
The lightest guy
You
in
look
the-
very svelte.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And then I'd go against a guy who was like 103 pounds heavier than me.
Or
you know?
heavyweight.
Or
Yeah,
yeah,
someone bigger than
it
me.
was unlimited weight class, so
Yeah.
it was whatever.
So when you're competing for like competitions, what does a week of training look like? What kind of regiment we talking? Like you're waking up? Are you running around like Rocky? You
No,
taking chickens?
nope,
What are you doing?
Nope, I don't do it. I train usually twice a day.
Okay.
You know, I'm 56 years old, so I can't do all that stuff. I just
He's not chasing chickens.
Yeah, I'm not chasing chickens. They're chasing me probably, but more so. You know, I listen to my body now at this point. I train hard. I train for myself. I train in New York City with a bunch of world champions that are like 25 years old, and I do all weight classes. I just get my ass kicked every day by these guys.
Now I keep
And
hearing
then
weight classes, right? Is there an age class as well?
There's yes. It goes like every 10 years basically.
Okay.
So
So
that was
the age class that you're in now. Right?
Yes.
Is what does that look like?
was like 45 to 55. So now I move up.
Okay.
You know, so now I move. So you'll move up. So it says Masters 1, 2, 3, whatever. So it kind of
Alright.
goes up like that.
Now, is there a level of color of belt that we have here?
Yes.
What are you
yes.
rocking?
I'm a
Purple?
third degree black belt.
Purple belt? Oh,
Yeah.
third. Not one, not two, but thrice.
Yeah.
Christ.
Oh, excuse-moi.
But one of the things that's
I'm talking
interesting-
shit because I have him here to protect me.
But one of the things that's interesting is when we started training, you couldn't find a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
They didn't make them, or
There was
they
nobody
offer
on the
them?
East Coast.
There was nobody-
There was
nobody
nobody
here.
on the East Coast.
There was nobody here that was a black
This is
belt
why
in
I
jiu-jitsu.
love the world story.
Yeah.
Just that point exactly. You started in this a crazy venture of fighting and mixed martial arts, and you couldn't find a belt because no one did it. And fast forward 28 years later, you won the worlds, and they didn't give you a belt. That's bullshit. It's a sad long story. You can't get a belt. I get it. I understand.
But he was actually like one of the first guys to bring real talent over here. Like
what
training in high school gyms.
So you train on top of being a fighter. You also train fighters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we had a lot. We had some pro fighters, a bunch of amateur fighters.
Are we allowed to ask which
I'm
pro
try-
fighters? We allowed to ask that? Or is it like an NDA signed? When you
Well,
train
there was a
people?
couple guys. I mean, there was nobody that ever really went anywhere. They were more like low level pro fighters. You know what I
Okay.
mean? It was tough back in
That's a
the
weird
day.
statement. Low level
Well,
pro fighter.
you know, like I should
Pro's in the title.
Well, I mean, it's such a disparity between somebody who wins UFC and somebody who's trying to even get into UFC. There's a lot of different venues, organizations that are not UFC, and
So
there's
what-
so many guys now. that are
For
trying to
the
get out there.
ignorant that are listening, when it comes to the fighting, what is UFC like the Olympic level?
Yeah, you get
What
the
is
best
the-
guys.
what
That's
is the
the best.
difference?
The most
The money.
talent. Yeah. Well, the
The
money.
money.
Well, the money brings the talent, right?
Yeah.
That's where
Okay.
the money brings the talent. So they have the best guys for sure. If you get into the UFC, you got the best talent for sure. And you have a lot of these other ones. I don't even know what they're called anymore. There's a bunch of them, but they're smaller. The guys are trying to win.
Ring of Combat.
Ring of
comes along.
Combat. That's one of them. There's a
Yeah.
couple.
That's
but
so
then-
weird. That name sounds made up.
But
That's why I know that. I don't know who's the marketing guy for them, but we should talk.
and then those guys get, they try to win a bunch of fights and try to have somebody notice them.
Yeah, and hope,
you gotta get noticed.
Now, do guys come out to fights to look for fighters?
Sometimes,
How do you
yeah.
approach that?
Yeah.
Do you email somebody? They just come to you?
I feel like both.
Okay.
Both.
I'm picturing like baseball scouts.
Yeah.
That come out and see you pitch and
Yeah.
do your thing and what you have.
Or who you know. Or it's who you know.
I love that.
It's good.
It's not nowadays. It's not who you know. It's how you know them.
Yeah.
You can know them all day, but if you don't have the good stuff on them, they ain't gonna help you.
Yeah, that's true.
You have the dirt.
That's true.
Well,
That's true.
back when again, it was amateur, and then they would call some fights pro, but I don't know what changed it from amateur to pro back at that level that we were.
So there was no like scale.
You
No,
couldn't
no.
hit in the face.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you couldn't hit in the face.
Oh, I used to have those same rules with my siblings. No face, no face. It's body shots.
You couldn't hit
Yeah.
in the face.
No kicks when they're on the ground.
No kicks when they're on the ground.
Well, that's
Yeah.
some bullshit.
But
when
now,
should you kick them?
but now you can.
Yeah.
Well, even UFC, you can't knee them when they're on the ground.
Yeah, I don't understand that rule. If you're in a toss
If you're
out-
both on the ground, you can.
that's no fun.
But if one
I want
person's
the weight of
standing,
my
the other
body to
person's-
go on
Yeah.
my knee.
Right.
I want every upper hand I can get.
Yeah.
Kick, scratch, bite,
Exactly.
no holds barred. Just do this.
I was watching the fight from the UFC where the guy was just getting his Ken Shamrock was just or no, not who the heck was it? No, Keith Hackney, and he was punching the guy's nuts. Boom,
At the old
boom,
UFC.
boom, your first one, the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
or
yeah.
second UFCs.
Yeah.
It was because you
I think he was holding his ponytail, right? Wasn't he holding his ponytail?
No, that was
punching him?
Now it explains why it's put next to the porn in the videos. Now it all makes full circle.
what? Just watch it. Just showed it up.
You ever see that video online? The guy screaming, "Punch him in the dick!"
It's
It's a great video. The guy's like, "It's a fucking family event. What are you doing?
That's not
Punch
on
him
my.
in the dick!"
That's not on my feed.
Oh, now you're better than me. Now you're better than me. So you go win worlds. You're crushing. You got 2 of your goals already done. You got them in the bag. You can't lose them unless for some reason you broke a rule and then you lose them. You need 2 more to get it.
Yep.
And then you're hanging it up.
Yep.
So when is your next big bout? What do you got coming up?
October 28th in Rome.
In Rome.
In Rome.
If you need a guy to, I don't know, put Vaseline on you, I'm not sure. It's like boxing. Did they put
That was a
Vaseline on you?
no.
Oh, all right. Well, you guys should.
You gotta
Try to catch them slippery as fuck.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
You grab someone, they've all Vaseline in their armpit.
Oops, you had me in a choke. Oops, sorry.
Oh, I'm out of here.
No good.
Sir, why are you covered in coconut oil? I like the Caribbean. Did you buy that? So you're going to Rome in October, and which one is that for?
That's for the Europeans.
I think you're wasting your time. You already beat the world.
Yeah.
Europe has no chance.
Yeah,
no
but some
chance.
of the guys from Europe didn't come to the Worlds
They
here,
might
so
have
you got to
beat
go
the
there
Russ,
and
you
beat
gotta
them
go
up
there.
over
You
there.
gotta beat them all. You just gotta go.
Listen, if they can't afford a ticket, then it's on them.
That's on them.
It's
That's
on them.
true.
You shouldn't be penalized because you can travel. And then after that, so we go to Rome, we wipe the floor, we crush it, as we know you're going to.
Exactly.
I got full confidence in you. Once you do that, when is the last one, the big one?
I think Brazilian Nationals are April.
April, same
in
year.
Sao Paulo, Brazil. Yeah,
In Brazil.
in Brazil.
I think that one's going to be a tough one. I feel like I'm giving a little too much confidence. I feel like Brazilians nowadays they're born, and either they're a pickpocket or they're fighting. Like that's your options, you know? It's like, who do you want to be? You got fast hands. We can go either way.
Listen, back in the day, I would say yes, but now I don't know. There's a lot of good American jiu-jitsu guys out there that are winning a lot of stuff.
You won world.
So you know.
I really can't believe it's not a belt though.
Yeah, no belts.
That's terrible.
No belts.
We used to get one of the fights. They used to give us swords.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah,
Some-
we used to get a
Men
sword.
that are
the
violent swords.
Yeah.
yeah, but
sword.
they get them in Chinatown.
Yeah. It was a
You know what I mean?
Oh, they
And-
weren't good swords.
Yeah,
No, it was a
the
crappy
belts
sword.
too. The belts
Yeah,
too are
belts
like
is-
junk.
But it
you
was
know.
still cooler getting a sword than a
Absolutely,
than
a
tin.
coin.
Yeah.
Look at my coin.
You put it in your
get-
car and it falls apart.
Yeah, well, I
You know,
gave mine to Jackie. Beat trees with it.
That's messed up. Jackie boy, you stole your dad's sword and beat trees with it. So you're gonna go to Brazil. Now, do you have to finance this? Do you have sponsorships? How does one travel to like Rome and Brazil in the same year?
Dirty Water Boys is funded it.
I can't even go to fucking Disney. This guy's going to Rome and Brazil.
No, usually I'll go, like when I go to Europe, I do some seminars. I'll teach some seminars.
Okay,
And then it kind of pays my way.
that's
you
what I
know,
heard.
they pay me.
I heard
Yeah.
tax write-off trip
Yes.
to Rome.
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Yes.
You should
exactly.
have your account call.
Well,
Yes.
he'll go teach at jiu-jitsu schools there.
Okay, so you'll go there for a little bit longer.
Yes.
Okay, and then is that before or after the fight? Do you
I'll
do the
probably,
teaching?
I have to figure that out. I'll probably go to, I have a school in Florence, so I'll probably go to somewhere in Florence and do a seminar. I just haven't figured out what day I'm going to go, what day I fight yet.
So when you
So
go
I'll
out
figure
there,
that
these
out.
other schools, they pay you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it has to be lucrative enough to fucking go to Rome.
Yeah, I was just in March. I was in Bulgaria, Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. I was just teaching there.
Oh, so your passport books are pretty filled.
So yeah.
So
I'm
I'm
going
over-
to Croatia in September. to
Croatia
teach there.
beaches.
So I'll be there.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
Crazy.
excited.
Because you think of these guys fighting and they're in these little gyms. You guys call them gyms, dojos? What do you guys call them?
We call it gym.
We call it
Sorry,
gym.
We call it gym.
I call it home.
Yeah.
So you go there,
Pretty
and
much is
that's what I'm picturing. You guys got these big sweaty guys in basements doing nothing and fighting each other, right? Meanwhile, this guy's traveling the world like Carmen Sandiego. He's hitting up half the East Coast of the world like, well, next week I'm going to Russia and fight the entire country. What do you do in your free time? I fight bears. Thank you. You ever fight an animal?
No, yeah, him. You see him. You sit next
Sea
to him.
monster.
The sea monster.
I
As
love
close as you could
working
get.
with Bobby because he's very unassuming, right? And we'll be somewhere, and you have these different port or dock workers, or even union members who they look at him, and he has a certain walk, right? You know the walk.
I know the one.
Has his walk. And he's very unassuming, right? And someone will be like, "Fuck this guy," or talk shit, and I'm like, "Good, go say it to him. You won't. You won't.
bad
Guaranteed, you won't."
Bad move.
This one time, a guy approached him in the city. We came out of a union meeting. He takes his shoes off. And I'm like,
I didn't want to slip.
That's a strange approach. It wasn't like, I'm not doing this. You're not worth my time. I'm not dressed for it. No. He took his shoes off. And the guy's like, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but I guarantee you it wasn't good.
It's not good.
It's not going to be good for you.
Well, I had dress shoes on and fighting in the street. You start slipping and sliding. I don't want to slip and slide. I want to take care of this cat quick.
Yeah, I get it. He has things to do.
True.
But imagine me not knowing anything from Adam when it comes to organized fighting. And I'm like, did that man just take his shoes off? That's fucking strange.
That's weird.
But the guy's like, I don't have
think
time
I gotta
for
go.
you.
I gotta
don't
go.
have time for you. No, you do have time for it. You don't have time for an ass kicking.
Something's not right with this. I gotta go.
Get your shoes off. And that's when I started asking him more questions about his fighting skills and what he does. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good reputation.
Some of the stories are hilarious. The Alaska time. So we're in Alaska. Okay, we're in Alaska, and we're working with a bunch of guys, and there was a guy we were working with who had a lot of cash on. And we and him at a bar, and he shows the money.
It was a knot.
He was
Because we just said, the boss just paid us, but he gave us all cash. Because then you don't have to tell anybody you gave anybody cash. So he gave us all cash. And then,
not me. United States government. I got a check and I claimed it on my taxes.
So he immediately goes to the bar, starts showing this big wad of cash.
I'm like, my organized self took a 50, left the rest of the cash at home.
Yeah.
So we're there, and the kid takes the money out. People are horseshoeing around him at the bar. Now, then a couple guys start buying him shots. I'm like, this is strange. And then I watch another guy instead of Knuckles. I'm like, oh, it's that time. Fuck me. I'm like, Bobby, I need you now. Sea Monster, get here. And I swear, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I would never believe it. The door opens. Now, I don't know if he was just abnormally large or if it was a really small door. But he filled the doorway. And he walked in there and stopped the doorway and goes, you and you outside. And I'm like, gotta go. Daddy's here. And the music stopped. And they're like, he's not going anywhere, to the guy with the money. And he's like, and he looks back at the other guy in the truck, and the guy with the truck pulls up closer to the doorway, and Bobby just walks in. And I see people flying. I'm like, oh my God, Dad's so mad. You should have just left. Oh, that's terrible. Dude, whoop their asses. We got outside. We get in the car, and the driver, Freddie, just is more amped up than any of us.
Little Freddie?
Yeah, Little Freddie. Little Freddie was the driver.
Freddie's in the driver. He's like, yeah. And Bob's like, just bring me home. Just real calm. I'm like, that's organized fighting. There it is. That makes sense. Because the people that aren't organized fighters were all like, let's fucking burn it down. Yeah. Meanwhile, the guy he's throwing full-grown men just gets in the car like,
Well, I also wanted to get home so that way when the cops came, I was like already in my pajamas.
I've been here all night. I got home at 6 p.m. Pajamas go on. That's it.
Because I was sure, in their town,
they were coming.
They didn't come.
They didn't come.
Well, the bartender had called me like a second before he called me and said, yo, your boys are going to get jumped. So like I was already getting up.
Not I.
I was already getting up and ready to get out the door.
Shit.
And then he texts me and says, hey, you got to get over here. This is going down. They're going to jump Craig, and I'm like, all
there's
right,
not enough of us here. But apparently all you need is one sea monster.
One sea monster.
That's all you need.
One sea monster. Yep.
I was like, oh shit, look at that dude. But it was great. The music went.
Well, for years, I could never remember what his name was.
Yeah.
He was Sea Monster.
That's all you need
if
to know.
You said, Bob Reiche, Bob.
Who the heck is that?
Sea Monster. Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, I've only known him for 30 years.
Back to the fighting. I have hundreds of war stories of Bobby being a degenerate throwing people. So you're doing these events. You got 2 more to get your fist of glory. We'll call it that. And what is the next step after that? Where are you looking to go to? You're hanging it up and just training?
Hang it up, just teach, run my school, grow my school.
Now, have you ever worked with UFC or Dana?
No. I had a friend who knew Dana. We were out. He took me out to Vegas, and we were hanging out in his private gym underneath the UFC corporate offices.
They have a gym under there?
Yeah.
That's cool.
His own gym. I think they bring like pro fighters, like, because they can't, when they go to fight, they have nowhere to go. They can't just go to a gym and just go work out. So Dana has his own private gym. They go.
Well, why is that? Why can't they just hang out with the common folk?
Well, because the common folk wants to kill them.
No. If they're just going to train, if they're just going to work out. No, I'm saying if they're going to work out before,
But also, if you're a fighter and you come, let's say you live out in Vegas and you're coming to Jersey for an event in Atlantic City, you need a gym to warm up and get ready to go.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you got a friendly gym where you don't have some Yahoo dummy who's going to come in and break your arm by accident. You know what I mean? You might know everything you're going to do. This guy, and you're not trying to go, especially right before a fight, you're not going 100%. You just want to get loose, want to get warm, want to just get your head in the right spot.
I feel like Billy goes 110 at all times.
Oh, he can.
I can tell by him. He's just like, I will fuck you up.
He can. It's like a little gecko running around.
So they go to the safe place.
Yeah.
So they don't get banged up before a big fight.
Yeah. By somebody who's being
and it's private.
stupid.
And it's private.
Nice.
And it's private.
It's
you don't
private.
have to deal with all
you don't have to. You know who you're letting in.
I know it's like going out there.
But our
people taking
gym,
pictures of you.
the gym where we used to train was that gym for the fighters in the beginning.
So what gym was that?
It was Alex Wilkie's martial arts, and then
all right.
now we're over with Billy's. Billy has his own gym, Billy Loftus.
So you have your
in
own
Flemington.
facility. It's 100% yours. You're running it. Where is this at?
Flemington.
If someone wanted to find you to work here, work out here, and train here, how'd they get hold of you?
Go to loftusjujitsu.com and find my website and just come and we have
From
open door policy. Yep, everybody come. I have
So-
people come from all over the country. They'll be just drop in to come and train.
What?
That'll just visit, for a day because they're in the area or something.
I think it's weird to me because I'm not a fighter. You know what I mean? To be like, you know what? I'm on vacation. I could use a good ass kicking. Like, just the thought of it. But I guess, I'd watch this guy work 12 hours, then he needs to go to the gym. He's like a crackhead. He's like, I gotta go train. I'm like, all right.
You'd be
train.
surprised. You'd be surprised how many people I know that when they're traveling look for a school that they can go
Really?
and train. Yeah.
Well, I call them whenever I go. I say, hey, what school's friendly? You know what I mean? If I'm in Vegas, I say, hey, what school's friendly in Vegas? When I'm down in South Carolina, what school's friendly in South Carolina? Because he has schools. He knows way more people than I know.
Well, he goes on the road and does training.
Well, and then he knows people. Then they know somebody. They got an affiliate school or something else. Like we have friends in Canada, friends in England, friends in
Nobody
Germany.
has friends in Canada.
Yeah, we have some friends in Canada.
Yeah. Quebec.
Really? I want to know who started the fires. You let me know.
Oh, I wish I knew.
Wasn't the Quebecs? they were in the gym.
They were. Yeah.
I don't think they do much but train. It's too cold.
Now, when it comes to your training, is it also diet, or is it do you eat what you want?
Only if I have to cut weight. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If I usually have to cut a little bit of weight, so that I just kind of watch my diet.
What
It's
weight
on
class
your
do you
mind.
fight in?
I fight lightweight.
Yeah, but it's
Lightweight,
on your mind
yeah.
all the time. You're not letting yourself get but you train all the time. But
I'm in the gym 6 days a week. So
but we were just on our way here. You were talking about I don't have to watch. Your weight's on your mind all the time.
Yeah.
I should.
I want to keep my weight close. I don't want to have to do a 10 or 15 pound weight cut at this point in my life. I want to keep my weight close. So I'll fight at 162.
I was gonna make an age joke. I was so close. And I was like, no, he can fuck me up. It wouldn't even be like a contest. I'd be like his pocket pussy. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Stop it. Bobby, I'm tapping. Bobby, I'm tapping. It was so close because at this age. No, all kidding aside, you'll beat my ass. So you don't have to worry about diet and more so the exercise. And you're saying 6 days a week.
Yeah, I'm in the gym 6 days a week.
What day do you take off?
Sunday.
The Lord's Day. Interesting.
The only day.
Okay.
And we still complain.
There's some
We
days
still complain
some
the doors
days
are
I won't
closed.
train. I'll just teach. If I'm a little beat up or if I'm, whatever, just tired that day, I'll just kind of take off. But usually I'll give myself like a good 6 weeks before I compete for a camp. Because if I do much longer than that, I start to break down and I start to get little injuries and they start to add up and then,
I have that with diving. I'm like, oh, I got a hangnail. And then I'm like, oh, Bobby, my knee. I can't. I would love to. I really would. I love diving. I can't do it today. What are some of the big misconceptions that people think about organized fighting?
That jiu-jitsu's a fight. Jiu-jitsu's not a
The
fight.
dance?
It's a
jiu-jitsu.
It's a competition. I'm not mad at anybody.
No, jiu-jitsu is obviously trying to submit somebody. The goal is to try to submit them.
Aren't
Like
we all?
that's the goal. Yeah, yes, exactly.
My wife always
So
wins.
yes, so that's what we're trying to do. It's not like MMA anymore. We're not trying to punch each other's lights out. We're just trying to choke them unconscious.
Yeah, I noticed that
Maybe break their arm.
he was showing me videos from earlier fighting, and it was like just beat the piss out of each other. It wasn't like, I'm like, how can anyone enjoy this? Just beating the brakes off each other. But now it seems like you're saying it's more of a nice orchestrated of, I'm going to break you mentally by holding you in this till you tap.
Yeah, yeah. And then you just try to squeeze their neck, and everybody has to breathe. So you just squeeze their neck, and you put them to sleep nicely.
That's really nice.
And
Of
that's,
you.
yeah,
My brother
that's a good
once
way to
made
do
a
it.
crazy claim. I really wish he was here, that he cannot be choked out.
No, stop it.
I swear. Josh in the clouds, you there, bud?
I am here.
Well, didn't John say that?
He did say that.
We were driving down to, I believe, the Rebel Radio show, right? John's in the front seat driving. I'm in the back. Josh Poo is in the shotgun. And John said he cannot be choked out. If someone comes up behind him to choke him.
I don't even have to start behind him. We handshake. 30 seconds later, he's choked.
He said that his neck, everything it can't be done.
Yeah.
He said he could grab the person's arm faster than they could choke him.
He could hold my arm. I'll let him start
He can
holding
hold
it.
my pocket. I'm still choking his ass out.
Choking him.
I don't know. That's a lot of man.
Especially now with that beard, it slides right underneath on that cheesy beard he had.
Yeah, Bobby over there looping his neck with Vaseline. Get him now, Bobby. So now we're training with 6 days a week. We take the Lord's Day off, which I appreciate that, only because I'm lazy on Sunday as well. And you're training for these top 4 events, and you're training other people in the interim. So you're training yourself and working on your skill set while training other people.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get the time?
It's just what we do.
It seems like
I teach a lot of classes. So I teach 3-4 classes a day, and then some private lessons as well.
All right. So,
And then does his own training at noon.
so who trains you?
So when I go to New York City and train with the there's a very high level.
Can we name
school.
that gym? Is
Yeah,
that something
Marcelo Garcia?
you do? Okay.
Marcelo Garcia, New York City, who was like a 8-time world champion.
They call him the GOAT.
Yeah,
Oh.
and then
They-
a couple,
Is it because of his facial hair, or it's because he's the
No.
greatest of all time?
Yeah.
He's the greatest of all time. All right.
and then one of the guys there,
They call him the GOAT.
a good friend of mine, Mateus Denise, who was a world champion as well.
Okay.
So he trains me.
So
And
you
he's
got
like
a room,
20. He's 28 years old. Or,
you got
no,
a
he's
room
30
full
years old.
of big dick energy
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now, just
yeah.
fighting each other
Yeah.
on who won the world better.
Yeah, I go there and I just get
And then you
Very
leave
young.
there, go back home,
and go to my gym
and then go train
and
other
then train
people.
again and then train again or train the other people. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he comes to our gym, he's so you got to remember, like all the other high level guys, he's there training. Like, he goes to Marcelo's and trains there. Our guys come here to train with him. So like then he's got to go. It's not like it gets easy.
No, it didn't sound like
No,
it.
it doesn't get
I mean,
easy.
like, even the 3-year-olds, I think, might give you a run for your money at this point.
I think the only time he has fun is when he's with the kids. He has fun with us training with
Yeah,
it. But I think you could actually watch him and the energy he has with the kids.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I would enjoy putting you on the mat as well. I would. I don't think I could do it. I hit you with a truck and be like, I gotcha. But I think that'd be fun for me. Maybe you can take a dive.
It
one
is.
day.
It is so horrible when he makes a turn. There's like a spot when me and him are rolling, and he'll make a turn, and all of a sudden I know he sees my back. It's not. I haven't lost my back yet, but he's got a path, and I know he has the path, and my job is to find the path, and it's too late. He's on my neck, and I'm like trying to find it.
Can you choke him out?
That's the only way to get to sea moss is to get to his neck. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day.
Climb him like a jungle
This
gym.
thing's going to be a long day.
And he
if you
does.
don't
It's
get-
like it's the little gecko that spins
Yeah,
all
runs
around.
around.
That's him on my.
Like,
I'm like,
stop fucking moving.
damn it.
That's got to be like a spider monkey when you deal with him. Otherwise,
It
it's
doesn't
over.
seem fair. It doesn't seem fair at all.
It's horrible. Horrible.
So what is it like training with other guys who have won the worlds? Because
Oh, it's great.
like
It's great.
I feel like if
That's
I
the
won the
best.
worlds, I wouldn't hang out with anyone else that won the worlds. So when I'm there, I'm the biggest guy in the room. You know what I mean? But it sounds like you enjoy going
I
and
love-
competing with people better or equivalent to keep yourself sharp.
I go there. The more I lose, the better I feel. Like
Huh.
it just feels great just to go there
I
and
wonder if my wife can get that
And then-
mentality. 'Cause I haven't won a fight yet.
yeah, and then just go and like, especially like when you're trying to improve on something. Part of your game is you're trying to improve, and then you go there and you're like, "Fuck, I suck today, fuck," and then you go next week, you're like, oh, all right, I'm fixing it. I'm
I
fixing it.
fixed
And then
one piece.
Even if
Yeah.
you get beat, but it got better, and then it gets better. You still like. I've been doing it for so long, but I still feel like so much to improve on. So much, so many little details. Fighting on the ground is like chess.
Actually, it's nothing like chess because I play chess a lot. I've never been able to get punched in the face or choked out. For that matter.
we don't punch each other, so you just get choked or you get arm barred or
So wait, there's no like
foot locked.
You don't punch each other.
So
They
now
used
we're not.
to- so when me and him started, that's basically all we did. We'd put on headgear, and they didn't even have MMA gloves. We would use the gloves that they use for
Sap gloves, real glove, man gloves.
But they were almost like sap gloves. They just a little bit of foam over your hand. They were bad gloves for hitting the bag.
And you guys fight with those.
Well, that's what we used to fight with. So we put on headgear, one guy on the bottom, one guy on the top, and then they would just go.
And you can't punch. You can only defend.
Yeah,
And then you got him punching your head.
Yeah, the bottom guy could only defend, or the top guy could, So it was just you were just
You go,
40 guys.
Flip a
40
coin.
guys.
Who's punching today?
40
No.
guys. We have 40 guys.
20 on the bottom,
Yep.
and then 20 would rotate on top. You go through that whole line.
And then you
Then
switch.
the 20 would on top would go on the bottom, and then you punch each other.
The more you explain this to me,
I know.
It was
the
brutal.
more
it's
it
horrible.
makes sense
It
why
was-
the video is in the back of the store.
It was
Like,
brutal.
this is all making much more sense to me now.
It was brutal.
Yeah, it
Can you
was.
imagine get punched and deal with it? But you
Yeah.
can't punch back.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Well, you got to learn how to
bizarre.
defend.
But that's
So-
how a guy my size was able to learn how to fight somebody his size.
Yeah, shoot him.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, fucking shoot him.
Because
you're there,
after-
you shoot it.
After a year, and then all of a sudden you'd have all these gorillas coming in, and you'd be like, I'm going to fucking kill this guy. He's 150 pounds soaking wet. And you'd be fucking choking him and tapping him, and they'd be like, what the hell? Who is this kid?
You're the
And then little at a time, then that's kind of how people got to know me over the years from just from that. 'Cause
just
I
jumping
was-
around and taking care of
and
business.
just all the
Can
big
we
guys.
get, do you think there'll ever be like tag team UFC fights?
There is.
There is.
Get the fuck out
Yeah,
of
the
here.
Russians. The Russians are all over that.
Now they have this rugby where they go out there and they just start punching each other out and then they kick the. It's crazy.
What?
Oh yeah,
Russians
I'm gonna
have
send you
team
the link.
MMA.
I'm gonna send you this link. It's insane. It's
Oh my
insane.
God. So, being that you're training in all these places, you're going over the world. Is there anywhere in North Jersey or in this area that's like destined to be the next greatness? Is there any pretty fighters coming up, or something we should look out for? It's a good question, right?
That's a good question.
Stack wrote it.
Hard to say. There's a lot of good guys around, man. They're coming from all over.
Come on, give me a name.
There-
I'm gonna make you give me a name. Come on, what do you got for me? There's got to be somebody where like, this is it.
Oh man.
I just want to know so he hits that pro card. I know what to bet on. my grandfather, how you tell if wrestling was fake or if a fight was fake? If a bookie would cover the action. If a bookie wouldn't cover the action, it's fake.
Yeah.
That was always his go-to. That's what he told us about wrestling. WWF is fake. We were young, like, no, it's not. He's like, then find a bookie that'll cover it.
Yeah, that's true.
And we're like, well, I don't know what that means.
There's so many guys in so many gyms that could be the next great guy who will never get a shot. They got to get noticed. They got to get promoted right. And then they got to not get hurt. That's the other trick. You know what I mean? So, we could see him on Monday, Tuesday, we see him all, for a year, say, oh, that's going to be the next guy. And then all of a sudden he gets a girlfriend or gets hurt or disappears or goes into the police department.
The girlfriend's definitely a thing. I've seen that within our own crews. Some guys falls in love, you don't see him anymore.
It's over.
It's over. But that definitely does happen. We have a friend that was, he was in the gym every day, so much where he's going to Billy's house, picking Billy up, doing everything with him,
A lot of people drive you around, bud.
No, but it was just that's how much this kid wanted to do jiu-jitsu. Gets a girlfriend, gets engaged, gets on the police force, crickets.
See ya.
Haven't seen the guy since.
Done.
What?
Done.
That's great.
But he's there like, it was 6 days a week as a young
He
kid.
was, yeah. He was
Yeah.
there 6 days
It was
a week.
funny you guys say that about the driving. When you were telling about how you go to New York and you fight, that was my first thought. I'm like, I wonder how he gets there. Because I couldn't imagine getting my ass kicked and then driving myself home.
No,
I'm
'cause
like,
I-
this is bullshit.
Because my regular drive, I work in Queens.
Okay, so you have like a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
Ugh, what do you do?
Work for the New York Times.
Ooh, that's cool. What do you do?
No, nothing good. Nothing good.
What do you do?
No, I work in like delivery department, circulation.
Okay.
I handle, it's nothing.
Nothing fun.
No, it's nothing
Yeah.
fun.
I'm gonna say they haven't called me back.
But yeah, but it helps me when I go to New York because I just leave there and I go train
Okay.
in Manhattan and
So
then I go home.
you work a 9 to 5.
Basically.
I'm understanding that. Basic hours, what, from like Monday to Friday?
I work 4 days now. I was working 5. Now I work 4
you're
days.
4 days a
Two
week.
nights, 2 nights, and 2 days.
At different times. All right. And then you're training from 3 years old to 90 years old. 5 classes a day, plus your own shit, and going to New York
Yep.
and fighting.
Yep.
So you basically eat, sleep, breathe fighting.
Yep.
But you seem very calm.
Yep.
That's why
Because
we're
I'm
kind of
tired. Because I'm tired.
You know what's violence it took to be this calm?
Because we're tired. That's it.
I want to make you like a show pony. I want to bring you to like local bars and just bet on you. You know what I mean? Just walk in, have you wear like very unassuming clothes.
He's the most fun because like people see a big guy like me and they're like,
he's
you
kinda
know,
big. I don't wanna fuck with that.
want to do that. But you get Billy in there and you get a couple drinks in him, it's fun.
I can imagine. I got some local bars that I
You
haven't
see
really
him,
liked.
you see him like twisting his head from side to
the
side,
best.
checking out their neck. It's like, yeah, I get there.
My kids,
They call him the tailor.
my kids still talk about the time I took them to Great Adventure, and we're online, and these 2 like 6'6" guys come walking, yo, and they're cutting line. They're cutting through the line. They're cutting, yo.
And he's
yo.
steaming because I've seen him steam.
And I'm like, I
It
see these
built.
guys.
It
I'm
built.
like, they are not going past
Not
me.
today.
Not happening. They come all the way up to me. I go, you can go anywhere you want in this line, but in front of me. And I'm like, they're like, yo, what's up? I'm like, you can go anywhere in this line, but in front of me. They stopped right there, and they did not move again. And they were like, yo, bro, what's up? I was like, I don't care what you do, but you are not going in front of me.
You're gonna bring him out.
My kids
I got
were
some
like,
place to bring him. And just let him go.
Greg Baglione was with me, man. They sat there. They were like, "Oh shit!" Like, I don't give a fuck what you do. You are not going. It's not happening. My kids still talk about it.
And he
That
gets
was the
aggravated.
best.
It's a slow boil. You can see it. His eyes start perking up. He starts looking around, especially when he's hangry. I forget about it.
Someone please feed the trained killer.
Oh, my
He won
God.
world, for Christ's sake. Give him a hamburger. So when you're training, a lot of it's physical. I get that. You have sometimes you have your dietary habits, just cut or stay in weight. What do you do mentally? Is there a mental aspect?
I
of it?
try honestly. I try not to think about my fight because as soon as I think about it, I start getting amped up, and then I'm like, why am I wasting all this energy 4 weeks before I'm fighting? It just doesn't make any sense. So now if I start to think about it, I just change my thought. I just forget about it. Why am I going to worry about it today? I worry about it the day I go. That's it.
I like
just,
that mentality. I always say to people that there's 2 kinds of people in the world growing up, right? When you were in school, right? You had the ones that when the principal called you to the office, you had the ones that stopped at every single fucking water fountain and said out of their friends, then went, and then the ones who worried the entire way. So just when you get there, deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why give a
That's
fuck?
it. Why?
You have a 3-minute walk.
That's exactly
Enjoy
what-
yourself.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
If you got it 4 weeks, enjoy the 4
So
weeks.
people compete now. They get so nervous and like, oh, I adrenaline dumped, and it's like, you got to stop. You got to stop. You got to let it go. Don't worry about it until you want to get nervous. Get nervous the day of. Why the day before? You're not fighting
Do
on
you get
Friday.
nervous the day of? Yeah, you get a little
I,
pre-fight jitters?
I used to, not really anymore.
Now you're a
not really
seasoned vet.
anymore.
Again,
Yeah.
not an age joke.
Yeah.
Not an age joke. Wasn't making fun of you either.
No,
you
not
fellas.
so much anymore. I try to.
You've been there, done that.
Yeah, I just like. I feel like for me, it's like training in the gym. It's just a different face.
Just a different neck. I could
Just
choke.
yeah. It's just you know what I mean. It's just a different face. So what's the difference if I'm training in the gym with world champions? Or I'm training with this guy here. What's the same thing?
Out of curiosity, just through the interest of my brother getting choked out, is there a strong neck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a strong neck, but everybody has
Carotid.
veins
Yeah.
that flow up
Arteries?
the side, the carotids.
Okay.
You got to
Once
get
you
'em.
close them off,
Yeah, it's done.
everybody's going to sleep.
But there is that typical Mason, you know what I mean, where it just goes like head, shoulders. There's like,
No, I don't know.
Okay, so
I'm not a fighter. I'm not
but
talking
the,
about.
you'll see those old, like I associate them with the old time bricklayers. Their hands look like baseball mitts, and they just got their head sits directly on top of their shoulders.
Yeah, I know the guys.
Yeah, they look like someone squashed them a
It
little
reminds
bit.
me of the character from He-Man from the '80s. That little guy with the head.
Yeah, but there are dudes like that, and you'll be rolling with them. You'll get right there, and you're like, damn it, I can't get under his chin.
Maybe you can. My man Billy can.
Actually, believe it or not, the smaller your arms are, the easier it
Yeah,
is.
It is.
Imagine get in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just just move their jaw to the other
Yeah,
side.
just
of
squeeze their face.
I do.
And then I reconfigure the way their face is
Yeah.
sitting.
Yeah,
They say either you tap or you're
Yeah.
going to be sipping out of a straw for a
Straw,
week.
yeah.
It's your choice.
Yeah, if
You
I
guys
can't
are
get to the neck,
fucked
I break
That's
the, I
it.
break the jaw.
Your choice. Yeah. It's
Have you
your
broken
choice.
jaws?
I've
to
had
get
guys.
you submission?
I've had guys not be not be able to. I've heard some teeth go. I've heard some few of those.
They should have just tapped.
They should have tapped.
Should've tapped.
They should have tapped.
But then they get mad at you because they're like, "Oh, you weren't on my neck," and I'm like, "Well,
You should have
You
tapped.
didn't allow me to be
you
on your neck.
but you still tapped."
Because if you was on your neck, you would be telling me you'd be sleeping.
Right, all you had to do was lift your chin, and it
Yeah.
would have been
It
easier.
would've been easier.
Like it was, it doesn't make sense.
Talking shit. Why are you fighting this?
I do. I whisper in her ear.
This is
I
gonna
do.
happen if you like it or not. It's so rapey. God.
I do all the time. I whisper in her ear.
Oh, it's like prison movies.
It's almost over.
This
It's
is
almost
gonna
over.
end all right now.
I'm always like, Daddy's home.
It's almost over.
Daddy's
I'd
home.
be more upset about that than get my ass kicked. And then he said, "Daddy's home." My therapist would be laughing at me. It'd be terrible.
God.
So you won Worlds. That was this year. That just passed.
That was December 22.
How many times have you competed in Worlds?
Twice.
Now the guys that you've trained with in the city who have won Worlds, did you lose to them?
No, I did not compete against them.
Okay.
The one guy I do train with, I beat him in the pans. I did beat him in
You
the
should tell
pans.
him
I
daily.
felt really bad because he's such a nice guy.
They usually
I
are.
felt really good. And my coaches and the coaches from there, they just was sorry, you guys are on your own. They wouldn't coach us.
Really?
They just walked away.
So
yeah.
now, when you beat him, do you text him now, like once in a while, like, haha?
I text him all the time, but I won't do that. I feel bad. He's too nice. He's so nice. He's a gentleman. He's so
I
nice.
couldn't do
It's
that.
funny,
I would
as
text you daily.
Yeah.
As the guys
Daily.
as you get better and you know better guys, everybody's nice. It's
It seems like
it's
it.
Yeah,
it's
no, there's a lot of good people.
you know, and
There's
we're real
a lot of good
lucky.
people.
You know, with Billy's gym, it really is a nice atmosphere. There is, we have
Yeah,
we,
choking people out. Yeah, it seems very
but
nice.
no,
Very pleasant.
all gyms they choke each other out, but you'll have guys that you just can't stand, and that.
So then you want to choke them more.
Yeah.
No, I don't even. I won't even train with them. If I
Really?
don't, if I can't stand them, I don't want nothing to do with them.
That sounds
I won't
terrible.
talk to them. I won't train with them. But our gym is, or Billy's gym is just, it's
okay.
just a
It's
great.
okay. You can call it our gym.
Well, I'm there so much. I kind of feel like it. You know,
I'm gonna call
It
it
is
our
our
gym.
gym.
too.
It is
Yeah.
our gym.
Yeah,
It's our gym.
I'm there so
It is
much.
our
It's just,
gym.
you know.
So you said there's an open door policy.
He's
for
our
this gym.
black. He's my black belt, so for sure. He's
Oh,
our
you're
gym.
a black belt.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I thought you were a fucking purple belt.
No.
Oh, I was gonna make fun of you. Oh my god, you're a black belt. When did that happen? You paid for it. didn't you? You paid
2
for it?
years ago. 2 years ago.
Oh, I remember that I texted you and congratulated you.
Yeah.
Jackie Boy told me.
Yeah, because
I forgot.
Yeah, everybody was
Yeah.
breaking my chops. I thought you were a black belt. I said, no, I've
Yeah,
just
yeah,
been
I
doing
remember
it forever.
that,
yeah.
It takes a long time in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Apparently. Who knew?
Yeah, it
28
does.
years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Long time.
That's such a hobby turned into a business.
Yeah.
That's they say you do it your life, you do it your love, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Can you confirm that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I love what I do, but I hate it.
If I could just quit working in New York, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, that helps with the training in New York.
It does. It
Oh,
does.
shit. It's two
But
birds,
still,
one stone.
But still, the drive sucks. Driving to Queens sucks. From where I live,
Oh, it's in
terrible.
Queens? Ugh. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Before or after the airport?
After,
Ugh.
I'm right by the Whitestone Bridge, right by City Field.
Oh. My stack is going there today to go watch the Mets lose.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
really
across the
excited.
street from across the street.
Are you guys Mets fans?
Yankee fan?
Oh, there you go. Good call. Good call.
I spend too much time doing jiu-jitsu. I'm not a fan of anything.
I'm not a fan of anything that consistently loses. No, thank you. Anything you could give out to a young aspiring fighter, like one piece of advice that something you got over the years that helped you.
To an expiring fighter,
Yeah, someone
somebody like
wants
at
to
the end
kick
of
ass.
their.
No, it's what.
Aspiring. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
thank you. My pronunciations.
I
It's not me. It's the microphone.
mean, it's just you got to train hard, put your head down,
And Daddy's home.
and go train, man. There's no shortcuts. That's all I can tell anybody. I tell them now.
There's no
'Cause
shortcut to the carotid
there's
artery.
No shortcuts. You want to win, you better train. That's it. There's no shortcuts.
Well, let's see. You've
It's
been
hard
doing
work.
28 years. You it sounds like you're training at least 5-6 times a day, whether you're teaching or participating in the training. In 28 years, now you're like, I want to win all 4.
Yeah,
That's a long time to hone a skill.
Yeah, I should have probably did it when I was younger, but I had
Raising
kids
a
and I was
family?
I was coaching wrestling. I coached wrestling
Oh,
for
so you
10
were-
years.
You were coached like for
All my
that's
kids.
how
Youth-
Josh in the Clouds
Yes,
knows you.
yes, yes.
Okay. So those who don't know, Josh in the Clouds, he wrestled in his younger youth. And Billy was part of the coaching staff?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was the youth wrestling coach. I think Josh was in high school, so he wrestled with my sons in high school.
I hope your sons beat Josh's ass. I know he does. Josh needs a good ass kicker. You know you do, Josh.
I know I do.
I'm well aware. Don't you're by
I'm
yourself,
willing
buddy.
to pay.
I need an ass kicking myself. I go home and get beat. I have 5
We
children.
should
and a
go to
wife.
Flemington. We should check out the gym.
You guys
Bro,
come down
I
anytime.
can't even get 5 minutes outside on the phone.
We'll figure it out.
That's what one keeps telling me. I would love to hear this. Let's,
Be
you
awesome.
know, let's figure it out. Let's do this.
Figure it out.
But that's some of the reason why he's chasing it now is because when we were, probably when we should have chased it, or I can speak for myself. When I should have chased it, I was raising a family.
Yep.
Yeah, you weren't being selfish then. You were doing
Yep.
what they
Well,
call the right thing.
Actually, I actually made for my own career, in jiu-jitsu, I had to make a conscious decision that I am going every night. And my wife is, I kind of had a conversation with her to make sure she was okay with it. But it was one of those things where I'm going every night. Hey, can you help me do this? No, I'm in jiu-jitsu. Can you help me teach? No, I'm going to jiu-jitsu.
That works. My wife would be like,
Well, your kids are
"Go
your kids
fuck
are all,
yourself."
No, for me it
your
was
kids are little.
for me it was when my kids were little. I was like, okay, these 2 days are my days
Training.
where I need X amount of hours on these 2 days.
And one of them was Monday because that's when we used
One
to
of them was
punch
Monday.
That
Monday
when we
was
used to
the
punch each
Monday
other's
was the
heads
day, man. Monday was.
I can imagine. You guys are young.
I go to
fathers
work
coming
at
on the
night
weekend.
after that.
off. Yeah, so did I.
And I was fucking beat up like fuck, man. People would be like, "What are you
Can you
doing?"
imagine people in the office?
I'd have
We don't talk about
bruises
the Fight
and
Club.
limping.
It literally
I'd
was
be
like that.
limping, and I was delivering newspapers in a newspaper truck, limping half the time, bruised up, beat up, going.
I had a
Oh my God, it
physical
was
therapist,
terrible.
a doctor, not too long ago, and he came in the office and his arm is in a sling, and he has a black eye. I'm like, who do you owe money to? And he's explaining that he's training. I'm like, train for fucking what? He's like, oh, I'm doing mixed martial arts. I'm like, you're not doing it very well. You got a shiner in his arm. I'm like, should have tapped.
That was a bad day.
Tapped.
That was a bad. We got both of those in one day. That's a bad day.
Maybe they were a week apart. I don't know what happened with him. He's a good guy, though. So now you raised the family. You did all that. You did your 9 to 5. You climbed through the ranks. You trained, and you hit Worlds. How did that feel when you won Worlds?
It was great. It was like I felt like there was. I competed for the last 15 years, and I never could get over the hump. Like I always lose like very close matches. Never like, and I think I finally realized I was fighting not to lose, instead of to win. So I think it was a mental thing for me. When I started training in the city at Marcelo's and training with Mateus, it kind of helped me flip that switch. I'm like, I'm getting training with world champions every single day. There's no way I should. It was just, it was like
you're only as good as the company you keep.
And so when I went there, I was like, this guy's not beating me today. It's not happening. There's no way he's beating me.
So you changed that mindset of I'm going to survive to I'm going to win.
Yes.
And then you came, you saw, you conquered. Little Julius Caesar for you.
That
little
was
mini
it. And that was it, man. Those guys, give credit to those guys because those Mateus and my professor Renato, those guys,
I know. I probably have like one or two more questions for you, just because I find it's very interesting. The price points, like, so, if a random guy, was gonna go fight, like you're gonna travel to South Carolina, and you're like, hey, is there a place that's available, it's friendly for us to go to? What does something like that cost?
To walk in,
Just walking off the street.
walk in a gym.
Yeah, do a little tussle.
For what? For like a drop in?
Yeah.
That's like $30 for a class.
That's
Like
reasonable.
$30.
Yeah, I'd say between
30
20 and
bucks.
40.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably, yeah.
And then if you're gonna do long-term training, like
So
like a one-on-one, the prices vary greatly.
Well, you
Well,
could
for
sign up
one-on-one,
a month.
for private training, for private classes is a lot more expensive, obviously. But for like a regular class situations, it's like it depends. Like for my school, I have like 3 different plans. You could do once a week, twice a week, or unlimited classes.
Okay.
So each one has its own price point. So it's for the max. Let's say unlimited classes, it's like $169 a month. You can come to as many classes as you
Cheaper
want.
than a fucking car wash.
Yeah.
And you can, with his gym, you can go. There's 5 a.m. classes?
I have 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
classes,
classes?
noon classes, and then at night.
You're there at 6 a.m.?
No, I don't
No,
teach the 6.
it's-
I have.
You're
I
like,
can't.
bless your heart.
I'm on my way. On my way to work at that time. So
Yeah,
I
but
have a couple
we have
guys.
another black belt that teaches them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not as unattainable as some of these excuses I hear from people.
No.
Like, I would go train, but the money.
Yeah.
I would go train, but can't find the facility.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Yeah, I hear a
no,
lot.
there's-
You'd be surprised a lot of guys at the bar talk.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of
Yeah.
you hear. Like,
Yeah.
it's
This-
the price points.
Oh, I'm gonna go, but I got to get in shape. I go.
You're getting
You
shape.
gotta get in
there.
shape.
Yeah.
You go there
You
to
don't
get
go
in
to a
shape.
gym to get in shape. You,
That's like my mom.
Well,
She
you don't-
cleans up for the cleaning lady.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's-
yeah,
it's
yeah.
essential.
Exactly.
You're like, what
exactly,
are you doing?
yeah.
Vacuuming.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Grace is coming today.
You
What
go
the
to
fuck
the
does that mean?
gym. That's when you get in shape, by going to the gym, not get in shape to go to the gym. It doesn't make any sense.
Now, when you're competing with people that won the Worlds, does that mean they can charge more for training?
Yes.
I'm just asking for
Yes.
tax
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
So, and then is there a purse at the end of it? So if you win the Worlds,
It depends. Not so the I compete in the IBJJF, which is International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation.
Okay.
But
Well,
there
they
are
do, they kept
some.
Federation.
There are some that. So the ADC is the next biggest one. It's probably the biggest one, and the IBJF, the two biggest venues in the world for jiu-jitsu, for submission grappling.
Okay.
The ADCCs is paid by the Abu Dhabi Combat Club. That's what it is, and they have big money behind it, so they pay.
So when you win, when
But
you
for
win
me, for IBJJF, it's just more for stature than it is. They don't really pay.
so
but
you
you'll
win
get
the Worlds, and there's not a purse at the end of that.
no. You'll get, like, for me, like I said, I'll get seminars. I'll get more people coming to my gym. I'll get, for that
On
kind
the
of
back end.
yeah.
Bobby loves the back end.
Yeah.
We talked about
Yeah.
that. Loves the back end. But I'm surprised there's not
Yeah.
I don't know, like a free ticket to Quiznos. Nothing.
Yeah, no.
I mean, a fucking
You
sandwich.
get your.
they comp
you
the
get a
room?
shirt. You get a shirt and a medal, and okay, see you later. That's it.
Would
Yeah.
you sell the medal?
Nah.
That's what I just want to know if
Nah,
there's a bidding war could take
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
It's a little money to throw around right now.
It's like for people who want a black belt. Well, just go buy one at freaking Amazon. You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean
it's
to
not the
anybody
same.
else?
Like Bobby
You
has
know?
the belt rack in his garage, and when I'm over there, I'll see it. I'm like, I said to him the one day, I'm like, you bought all these, and then you'll see one with like blood on it.
Yeah.
One's is like it's covered in sweat and it's the
Dirty
keys
and-
smell terrible.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, you didn't buy these. They smell like shit.
Well, it actually, I didn't want a black belt. The belt thing to me was, I never quite got
This
it.
guy, sexy and humble.
Well, no, because
I didn't want a black belt, but he has it.
Well,
He has it.
you got to remember when it all started that we couldn't find, like I said, we couldn't find a purple belt to train with. So it was always fun to just be good. You know what I mean?
You
It
don't need the
wasn't.
belt to tell people.
I didn't need the belt to tell somebody.
Yeah.
And then we would go to a competition, and I'd say, well, what do I sign up as? I said, well, pick a color and go beat that guy. You beat that color.
Oh, dude, if I was a black belt, I would sign up. What's the lowest belt?
White.
I'd be like, white belt. Okay, white belt. Hey, Sea Monster, are you ever gonna belt up? Oh, eventually. I'm not there yet. White belt, just beating the balls of a white belt.
But so then when he started teaching on his own, when he went out and started teaching on his own, I actually called him up and said, hey, I never wanted a belt, but now that you're a professor, I want to get a belt on
Do you know a guy?
No, I just wanted, it was important to me to get my belt with Billy. Me and him had trained together. We'd come up together. We go to, I went to his first super fight.
So your
with him.
belt is backed by someone.
So it's called a lineage. So my
Okay,
professor's Billy Loftus, and then his professor's Renato. And Renato's professor, Gracie?
High and Gracie.
High and Gracie.
What do I know that name?
So
I've seen on license plates.
yeah, the first
Brim.
Yeah.
the first UFC was won by the Gracie family. So they kind of brought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to the U.S. And that's
And
where it all started. That's where the
your
whole
lineage
revolution started.
Goes to that family.
Yes.
Why didn't you lead with that?
Well, he's the.
That sounds kind of fancy.
It's actually even better. It's the bad boy of that family.
Yeah, High and Gracie.
Oh, like the
yeah,
black
High
sheep?
and-
Yeah,
High and
he was the.
I never met Hyan, but,
Yeah, but-
my professor Hanato
There's stories about him. They're pretty cool.
tell you crazy stories about him. He actually died. He died in jail or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he Brazilian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he pickpocketing?
I
I only make that joke now because he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was
shit,
a-
where is he?
He would fight everybody
Yeah.
and anywhere he went. And supposedly the stories about him were crazy
crazy.
stories.
So now,
Yeah.
But the lineage is something you actually end up
You
becoming proud of. You know what I
prove
mean?
it. Yeah.
But it's cool because then you can follow where it all came from. You know what I mean?
So if I meet a black belt, let's say I'm at the bar, and he's telling me how he's a vegan black belt, and we're going through the motions. Is there a way to prove or disprove he's telling the truth?
Probably not
Fight him.
for the layman. Yeah, that'll be the truth.
Fight him.
Yeah.
That'll be the truth. I mean, if you don't know the lineage, then you may not know. Like,
No, I know you, though. I'll
yeah,
call you.
Yeah.
3
Right,
in the
exactly.
morning. Listen, guy, I'm sorry waking you up.
Because
Oh,
people come to me, anybody who comes to my school, I ask them, "Oh, you ever trained before? Okay, who'd you train with? If he has a belt, then at least this way I know who he's come from, or you know what I mean."
So if someone comes to your gym off the street, they're starting out new, and they climb the ropes, right? Let's say they're halfway decent.
Yep.
And they end up getting their black belt
Yep.
through your gym.
Yep.
They fall under that line.
Yep. Exactly.
That's just a cool fucking
Yep.
line.
Yep.
It is a cool line.
Like I have a picture at my school. It has like where it all started and all the lineage down, and then I'm at the kind of the bottom. So like he would, so then he would be right below me,
Billy's
and
my
then his
professor.
student would be under him.
So can the sea monster teach?
Yes, he
So
teaches. He
someone
teaches for
could
me
get
sometimes.
their belt under you.
Just recently, I was just promoted to being able to teach.
Oh,
Right. So now,
congratulations on the promotion.
but in order for him to give a black belt, he has to have 2 stripes on his black belt before he can promote a black belt.
Oh, whoa. How many stripes you got?
3.
Oh, show off. What you got?
2.
Pussy.
I got
No,
my,
you're-
I,
no,
I,
you-
got, I got one in my.
No, he has no stripes. He has his instructor stripes, but not
instructor stripes. Yes.
Yeah, not.
What's the difference?
So
Well, I'm
instructor
not-
stripe means okay. So basically, it's
If you look at Billy's belt, he has 5 stripes.
instructor stripes. It means you've been a black belt for a year. You can teach basically, and then every 3 years you get a stripe after that.
Yeah, but can you lose your black belt?
Well, if you misplaced it, maybe.
No, I'm saying so every 3 years of being a black belt, it's not like you have to recertify for it.
No, but if you're still training,
You're still training.
every
but
3 years, you get a stripe on your black belt, basically.
Okay. Now some of the pictures I've seen on the internet make sense.
So if you see somebody who has 3 stripes, that means I've had my black belt for 10 years.
Or they're an instructor.
But also, like especially with, Billy and the organization that Billy is in, we get together. Billy's school, we get together with everybody twice a year. We go to Lake Ontario. He runs a camp where we have all the people come from California, Canada, Europe, and then those black belt instructors of their schools come, who are all black belts under his instructor Renato. So
Gotcha.
so it's not just Billy saying he's ready. They all get together. And say,
You got a big group.
Yeah,
he's got a
we have
big group that
Yeah,
decides
we have a
like,
good
hey,
group.
hey, Bob, you think Bobby's ready for his black belt? Nah, not yet. He's he sucks here, he's good here, whatever. But they all get together and they really do. They talk about it, and then if he needs to improve this, we got to work on that. We got to look for this.
So it's not just one person.
And it's not just one person
Yeah, I
handing it
got
out. And what's also nice about that too, like what happens a lot of times is when an instructor promotes somebody, they end up leaving. There's usually a rift, and I don't know why that happens, but there always seems to be a rift between wherever his black belt goes, school, and then the old school that he belonged to. We don't have that. We don't, like
You accept everyone, they can come and go as they.
well, and also the the black belts are all still really close.
Yeah, we have a nice group. We have a nice culture.
I'll tell you what, I didn't want to be a black belt when we started this conversation. Honestly, it meant fuck off to me. I'm like, 164, I can fucking do this. I'll see you all in a fucking year with a black belt. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming out here. Love seeing Monster, always love seeing you. Billy,
No,
is there
thank
anything
you.
you want to plug or talk about before we go?
Come train. Loftus Jiu-Jitsu, man. Come train.
Where you got an
Everybody's
address, you got a
welcome.
phone number,
Yeah,
website?
Walter. Yeah, www.loftusjujitsu.com. We're in Flemington, Walter Fran Boulevard, 908-500-2637.
All right.
Come,
you
my
heard it
doors.
here.
My
If you're-
doors are open.
If you're looking to get a black belt with some really cool guys for 100 and change a month, sounds like the place to do it. Well, again, thank you for tuning in to Dive In Deep, the Dirty Water Boys. This podcast has been brought to you by Trinity Solar. Just not only a company I advertise for, but a company I believe in. My family use it. My cousins, my mom, my dad, my brother, all utilize the Trinity Solar. We're all part of the family now. But again, look up my man Josh in the clouds. He's 908-235-9526. We'll give you a hell of a deal. Thanks, guys.